Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EJGT show. My name is Eddie Gallagher. I'm here with Nick Bove. Nick, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Eddie. Pleasure to be here.
All right, so you are a college golfer, and we are going to recap the Masters.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable tournament. I'm happy to be on and able to talk to you about it. Should be good.
All right, let's get started. Um,
Yep.
so obviously, Rory McIlroy won the Masters. What are your thoughts?
I I think it's just so great for the sport. Um, I think he played a great tournament outside of a few shots, and I believe he was very due for this Masters tournament. The screen jacket that's sort of been holding him back. Everyone asks him every year, when are you going to pull through and win this green jacket? It's the last one, and I think he proved to everyone that he is one of the greats, and he will go down as one of the greats. And we witnessed history on Sunday.
You know what? You're absolutely right. There was so much burden on him.
Right?
People were saying a couple years now, hey, when are you going to win the Masters? He's come up short a couple times,
Oh
but
yeah,
you know what? The way he did it was so fitting. Um,
it was very Rory McIlroy. That's for
he,
sure.
ups and downs.
Right?
Uh, but I gotta say, you saw the crowd chanting on the 18th hole,
Yep.
Rory, Rory. So golf fans or just fans of him, they wanted him to win. They
Oh
know
yeah,
what it means.
100%. And he, for whoever was watching, he truly showed it on that 18th green when that last putt went in, how much it meant to him. So,
Yeah, and you just saw the emotion. I love how
right.
when that you just I love when athletes show emotion. You saw the
Yeah.
tears, real tears. He was thanking everyone. He was grateful.
Yep.
Um, you know, man, I would have cried for him if he
Yeah.
lost that. Because he had control. He had control in the back
Oh,
nine,
yeah.
but um, hey, you know what? He pulled it off.
That's right.
We gotta talk about this. The 18th hole, the first 18th hole on that Sunday.
Right.
Um, when he failed the putt, the winning putt. Um,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you. So I was literally thinking to myself, I'm like, I think Rory's gonna miss this. Swear to God, Nick, I thought he was gonna miss it. Um,
I wouldn't be
because
lying if that thought didn't go through my head too. You know, it,
you know, I felt like there was a lot of pressure.
oh yeah. Yeah. Everyone dreams of that putt. Having a putt to win the Masters. I've, had that. And yeah, it's every golfer's dream, really.
Now, obviously, a lot of eyes, a lot of pressure around him. Do you think he should have, took a deep breath, looked at the green a little bit closer? I mean, just to take in the moment, just kind of relax yourself. And I felt like there was some heavy weight on his shoulders during that putt.
There was, and it seemed like he sort of rushed it a bit. Um, it honestly happened really fast, and when I was watching, I was like, "Oh, geez," I'm like holding my breath. Um, he kind of, I mean, he went up there just like any other putt, though, which is what you got to do in that situation. It's just another 3-footer, and he's made a million 3-footers in his career, so he's probably stepping up there thinking, this is just another 3-footer. Obviously a lot more pressure on this one to win the Masters, but it did seem a bit rushed, and he got up there and sort of pulled it, and obviously the result showed for spoke for itself. I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, no, and I got when he hit into the sand, I'm like, oh boy, this is trouble.
I couldn't
But
believe that.
but that chip or from the sand, I'm like, dude, that is a
Um,
great shot. I thought it was
Unbelievable
boom,
shot,
game over.
right? It's unbelievable shot. Pressure moment, throws it in there nice and close to a makeable putt, to win the Masters. And that's all you could ask for. And unfortunately, he missed. I mean, we saw we saw that last year in the U.S. Open when he was playing against Bryson at Pinehurst. Same sort of situation, a little bit shorter putt than he did this year at Augusta, and missed that, which ended up costing him the U.S. Open.
Now, obviously, Rory completed the Grand Slam. For those who
Yep,
don't know what the Grand Slam is, it's winning the Masters, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Open, and also the Open Championship.
yep,
Um, so only six players have done that. Gene, I'm gonna try to pronounce these correct. Gene
yep.
Suarez.
That's Gene Saracen.
Okay, okay.
Yep,
Ben Hogan,
yep. All time great.
Gary Player,
Yep, another one.
Jack Nicklaus,
Yep.
Tiger Woods, and now obviously Rory McIlroy. So only six players. Uh, what does it mean for him? Like is it like, hey, you completed Grand Slam, or is it like, hey, this is like my Super Bowl. I completed all
Right,
four tasks. Like, what is it?
right.
Like, what does it mean?
This, I think this just solidifies a career, an unbelievable career for Rory McIlroy. I think it solidifies him as the best player post Tiger, by far. Um, we haven't seen. I mean, we've seen glimpses potentially from, say, a Jordan Spieth who's got three out of the four majors. Um, but for Rory, I mean, it's the majors. He's got five now. It's just the last checkbox because he's done just about everything else in the sport, and that was the last piece, I guess, of the puzzle for Rory. And
Yeah, no,
I
I
mean,
agree.
yeah,
I think also we're not saying that he's the best ever, but
no, no,
but you had to. He's in that conversation.
he is, yeah,
You know,
he's
you
up
have
there.
to put him in that conversation.
To have six people now do what he's done means a lot. And obviously, with golf being around for as long as it has, only six players have completed a career Grand Slam. So this is a big deal, and we got to all witness history on Sunday, which was really cool.
Yeah, no, he was laughing. There was
Yeah,
tears. I mean, he
I
did it
mean,
all. He did it all on that Sunday. And
right.
you know, that shot where he hit over the trees, that was unbelievable. That was spectacular.
After I watched the tournament, I told some people, I was like, I witnessed Rory hit some of the greatest shots of his career and a few of the worst shots of his career in that same round, and it was just a roller coaster round, and I felt it, like emotionally. I was like up and down. Like Rory's hitting great shots here, he's hitting bad shots here. It's all kind of just out of the ordinary, but it was very much a Rory McIlroy Sunday final round. Just
Okay, so
crazy.
we'll get back to Rory just in a few moments. But I want to talk
Okay.
about Justin Rose. He finished -6 on Sunday. He
Yep.
obviously made it through the playoffs. He lost. But what did you make of his performance Sunday?
I think it's great for Justin Rose. I think he's 43 years old, which, he's getting quite old on the PGA Tour, but to say that he got into a playoff with Rory McIlroy in the Masters means a lot, and it shows that he's not going anywhere. He's still got that fire. He's a great golfer, and it obviously stings for him. Back in 2017, he was in the same position against Sergio Garcia in the 2017 Masters. He made it into a playoff and lost to Sergio. So he's 0 for 2 in the playoffs at Augusta, but he tends to bounce right back from this type of stuff, and
Yeah, I was
I'm
about to
sure he
say
will.
I think I saw on CBS. Correct me if I'm wrong. That this was his second time being runner up.
Yep.
Oh,
His second playoff, which is
that
even
stings.
it stings. It's very tough to even get into a playoff to win the Masters, but he's sticking around.
Yeah, no, very, I liked his post game, very humble,
Yeah.
grateful. But
Yep.
I felt so bad for him. You know what? To be in that position, playing that great on that Sunday,
Right.
you gave yourself a chance. There's nothing there you can do.
That's right.
And
And
to be honest with you, he had a great chip, but obviously a little bit too far. But
yep,
I gotta say, I thought that putt was going in.
I did too.
I thought
I
it looked
mean,
good.
I was personally rooting on Rory, and when he hit it that close, I was like, oh geez, like pressure's on. And Rory just did his thing, stepped up and hit the right shot.
You know, I think my father was telling me that they only do playoffs at Augusta. Like other tournament, it's just a tie. So I like that they have
Um,
I don't know if I don't know if that's factual, but
well, let's say for example, you get into a tie in the U.S. Open. Um, I believe I don't know if they changed this or not, but it used to be you'd go play 18 holes on Monday, just one on one for the championship.
I think that's what my father said.
Yeah,
Eh,
yeah,
I don't know if I could play 18 holes 5 straight days.
right.
I mean,
It's a
my
lot.
back would be killing me.
Yep.
But you know what? He played unbelievable. He's a great golfer. Hey, better luck next time.
Yeah, that's golf.
You were the second best guy.
Yeah.
That's all you can say. But uh, Bryson DeChambeau, man,
Mm,
he was in second place. He was leading. I believe he was leading at the third hole,
yep.
and then he just fell apart.
It just
What do you think? What happened? What happened to him?
it was just a crazy start where Rory started with a three-shot lead, and then that quickly turned into Bryson having a one-shot lead after a couple holes. And I don't know, he had all this momentum, and usually in these types of situations, Bryson just rides with that momentum, and you can't stop him. But he explained that he wasn't hitting it the best this week, and that I'm assuming failed him going down the stretch on Sunday, which is a real bummer. I mean, I know a lot of people wanted to see him pull out a victory here, and I'm sure in future Masters to come, he's going to get his green jacket, which is hopefully like it's going to be great for the sport and fun to watch for sure.
Yeah. So when players go south, what is the particular reason? Do you think?
It could be a whole variety of things. I think a big thing is their mental state on the golf course. Like if it's happened to me where you do something wrong and you sort of don't shake it off and it becomes a snowball effect and then it just turns into a handful of bad shots and then bad scores, which it's tough to recover from that. I don't think it was anything to do with him physically. Like he's obviously a very fit person. Like he's been in that situation before. I think it was mostly probably mental, and then him just not having his swing, as he said. But
Right. Yeah. No. For sure. Sometimes your just body doesn't feel like hey, it's sore. I mean, I'll be
right.
sore. On the
Oh
last
yeah.
day. Um. But yeah. No, he's a spectacular golfer. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it wasn't his day.
Yep.
Um.
That's just golf, I guess. And it's such a tough sport.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
You know. Uh. I want to go to the playoff.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, no.
No. Were you
I'm
about to
just
say something?
no, I'm just saying okay, like the
Yeah.
playoff.
The playoff.
Yep.
As a golfer, it clearly Rory knew, hey, there was a slope at the end of the green. It's ball's going to roll.
Yep.
Uh, do pro golfers normally just hey, all right, I know what the green is. Like Do they just know the green that well? I mean, it just seems like every time there's a roll, like they got a good spin or something.
Right.
Do golfers, pro golfers know that, or college golfers know that?
Oh yeah. Yep. You betcha. They know exactly where they need to land the golf ball on their shots. And if they do land it in that spot, it's going to turn out exactly how they want it to, just like Rory did on 18 in the playoff. Um, I think that's what separates the professional golfers from the amateur golfers. They're just that good at hitting their shot and hitting their target that, you know, if you hit your spot every single time and you hit the correct spot on the green and you give yourself looks for birdie, then your scores are going to show and you're going to make putts and you're going to go low. And that's how these pros do it.
Yeah, no. I'm always curious golfing. You play a lot of golf. What
Yep.
is the most important thing? Is it chipping, putting, tee shot? What is it? I'm always curious.
Well, there's the old saying, the most important shot is the next one. So, and that my coach, instilled that in my head at Lemoyne. And so that kind of sticks with me. But in regards to like the actual shot, I'd say by far short game, whether it's chipping and putting, is easily the most important spot. And that too is what separates the pros from the AMs is just they're that they're that much better at their short game than, you know, golfers like us and amateurs are just they have that edge and that leads to a lot of lower scores, which is why they are professional golfers.
Yeah, so I'm a terrible chipper.
That's
You know,
okay, Ed.
you know, but it seems like pro golfers they just have good ball placement. Like
Yeah.
I'm always impressed with that, and obviously that leads to either a one putt or a two putt.
Yep.
And
That's it.
not a three putt.
Yep. That's it. It's just when you miss a green, you have to get it up and down. You can't, if you get put in a bad spot, it's always trying to limit the damage on the golf course. And that's whether that's getting up and down or lagging up a long putt close and putting it down into like it's stuff like that.
Okay, I want to go to one of my favorite players, Jordan Spieth. Um,
One of my favorites too, Ed.
I felt like he when he won the Masters the first time, he
Yep.
was a top five guy. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
he's still young. He's not a bad golfer, but
No.
he's up and down.
Yep.
I think when was 2017 he won the U.S. Open, or
2017 he won the Open Championship.
but I feel like his aura was 13th hole Masters. I just feel like it's been downhill from there.
Oh yeah.
Why? I feel like he hadn't been a contender for years.
I unfortunately that's the game of golf. And I think Jordan, he's still there, and I think we're going to see something great come from him in the coming years. But when outside of golf with Jordan, I think it's he's sort of finding a balance, and it's tough to balance that home life. Obviously, having a new kid, and um, he just recently recovered from wrist surgery and stuff like that. Just it's hard to recover and come back to the game of golf, but I think going down the road, he's really gonna dial something in, and I really hope for something special down the road because he's just a phenomenal player, and that 2015 season was unreal.
No,
We
no,
we all thought like
2016, 2016.
right. Well,
Is
2016 is when he
Yeah,
killed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right.
Yeah,
Sorry, I misheard. Um,
yeah. That
I mean, look,
2016 Masters was tough.
he still finished minus three.
Yeah,
this year, so he's still an impressive golfer by
yeah.
far.
He's had some glimpses. He's had a few tournaments this year where we've seen sort of like some old Jordan, which is cool to see and hopeful for the future.
Yeah, no. I gotta ask you this. He's an all-time great. Do you ever
Yep.
see Tiger Woods winning the Masters again or no?
A Masters?
Yeah. I mean, obviously he was out this year because of injuries, but can he ever be that guy again?
I mean, we, I mean, people are having this conversation before he won the 2019 Masters. Like, will we ever see Tiger win another Masters again? And, you got like Stephen A. Smith up there. No, no, he's washed. And then he ends up proving everyone wrong and winning the 2019 Masters, which was unreal. And it's hard to say. I really want to say yes. I think he can still win, but you know, I don't know. It's him versus himself right now, and sort of feels like his body's beating him up, and he's not able to compete at the level he wants to, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens.
Yeah, look, I always look forward to watching Tiger Woods no matter what.
Oh yeah,
He's to me, he's the star. I don't care like if Rory McIlroy obviously he just won the Masters. Good
yep,
for him. But everyone's following Tiger Woods, no matter what,
that's right.
because it's
He
Tiger.
he brings the viewers. He every single tournament he plays in.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he didn't play this year, but hopefully next year he'll play. But
Yeah, that would be great.
he needs to get healthy.
Yep, that's
Um,
for sure.
um, but um, obviously, who won last year? Rom, right? Was it or did
The Masters last
yeah?
year,
Who won
that
last year? Like,
was Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler.
Yep, for his second Masters was won last year.
Okay, okay. I couldn't remember. Um,
Yep,
do you think it's tough for Scotty giving a green jacket? I'm always curious. Like now, the the previous Masters winner had to
yep.
give. I I'm always curious. Is that awkward? Do you think that would be awkward?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just you're part of a tradition, unlike anything else. You're placing the green jacket on the current Masters champion. I think that's pretty cool. I think, and Rory and Scotty are friends, and you see all their tailor-made videos together. That had to be pretty cool for Scotty, and he obviously always wants to win, but I think for it to be Rory and for Scotty to put the green jacket on Rory, I think that's pretty special, and he'll always be a part of history.
Yeah. Look, I don't think that's an awkward situation. I think it's more of an honor. You know.
Yeah, right.
You
No,
know.
I agree.
Um, you can't win every year, right?
Yeah, right.
Um, but no. The Masters is one of my favorite golf events. I don't know if you ever been there.
I have not. It's
I
definitely a bucket list though.
yeah, that me too.
Yep.
But to me, that's a sign of golf season. You know, when the Masters is
Yeah.
on, it's like, you know what? Hey, spring's here, summer's around the corner.
Yep.
You know, um,
We see it around here. I mean, whenever the sun's out and it's halfway decent outside, these golf courses around here are packed. So
yeah,
people are ready
yeah,
to go.
yeah, for sure, for sure. When you play in a tournament,
Okay.
how much pressure is it from shot to shot? Like, do you feel that pressure, or is it just a normal day?
Honestly, the most amount of pressure I feel is on the first tee. And then after I get that first tee shot out of the way, I kind of just get in my own world and it's just game on from there. And I don't really feel necessarily nervous or any pressure when I'm out there. I'm just playing my game and playing to my strengths. And usually it turns out all right. And yeah, I'd say about the only pressure is really just on the first tee. There's people watching you and you get your name announced. It's pretty cool. But after that, it's just going with it.
Right. Yeah. And, like I think I would feel like if I actually competed, I think I would feel that pressure
Yeah.
because you know, geez, one bad hole can really change things.
Oh yeah. It really changes the way you think. You could be on a roll and then you plop one in the water, and then it's just like, oh, geez, what do you do now? And the great players will figure out a way to shake that off and just continue going. And you know, some players might let it affect them, and then it turns into even worse shots going forward. And you know, it's such a mental game. It really is.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you have any questions? Like,
Um, I don't know. When are you going out to play? Have you played yet? Any
oh
golf?
no, I've not played yet.
It
Just the weather has been so bad in Camillus.
has been, yes, I agree. But
Just or
we're
Central New
looking.
York, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
I think maybe this Saturday.
Oh, good.
I always start with 9 holes. I don't go full
Yeah.
18 yet.
Yeah.
Hey golfers, start with 9. All right,
Yeah.
don't be too big to be going. Oh, I can do 18 holes. Um, no, I'll start with 9. I always start with 9, and then
Nice.
go to 18 because I'm always going to be rusty.
Oh yeah, everyone is to start, especially in Central New York. You got to hold off for 4 months or 5 months, whatever it is. Um, it's
Yeah,
tough to come back to, but you sort of just figure it out.
the worst part of my game is chipping because
Hmm.
for some reason I think too much. Like, gosh, I don't want to hit it too far. Gosh, I don't want to hit
Right,
it like mentally. What do you do? Like, do you just say, hey, just normal swing, or like I feel like mentally it gets to me.
right. Um, I think for me in chipping, it's really just a feel thing, and it's okay. I just did this in practice uh last week. I can hit this shot, and I think it's building a confidence in yourself that would really change how you think mentally. Um, I think that would really help because if you get all head case stuff and you're just thinking, you're never going to pull off the shot that you intend to hit because you got too much going on up here and it's tough to execute. So I think just, you know, sort of just making it simpler. Like, okay, I got to chip it here, and then it's going to roll out here. Not really just thinking, oh, I might just hit this long. And, I kind of think just changing the way you think, from thinking negatively to thinking, oh, just making it, a little more simple and might just make it easier for you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a pleasure. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah. I've
Y-
been wanting to get on, so this was great. This is
Yeah,
great
no, hey,
timing, just
you were the first person to DM me
yeah,
when I started this, so I appreciate
yeah,
that. I'm glad that you're finally on it.
yeah, me too.
You're always welcome to be back on
Thank you,
to
Eddie.
to give me your golfing analysis or whatever analysis that you want to give me or give my
Predominantly
audience.
golf.
Uh,
But yeah, it
um,
was it was a pleasure, Eddie. I appreciate you having me on.
but final words. Congratulations, Rory McIlroy,
That's
and
right. Way to
congrats
go,
on
Rory.
congrats on completing the Grand Slam. And there's plenty more golf, fellas. So
Yep.
stay tuned. And hey, we'll see you next time.
See you guys.